Hi guys, Dave from 44 Golf. Just wanted to go for a quick round review and recap of this morning's efforts at Sun City. So all in all, pretty good round. Just quickly, it was a stroke or a net event, so it was just purely on strokes. So I played pretty well, and the other thing to note was that it was off of the LOTs, so they are slightly forward. First, hit a good drive, bang in the middle of the fairway. Just came up a little bit short, just caught the front of this bunker, hit a good bunker shot, and hold the putt for a nice four. So it was a good start of the round. On to number two. So again, forward tees, but hit two iron, hit a really good one. Came just up shy of this bunker, which was good positioning. Good chip shot or pitch shot into the side of the green. It was just on the fringe, so not a green in regulation, but it was actually puttable, and I managed to hold that. So that was a birdie. So good start. When I was one under through the first two, so feeling good at that point. Third hole, it was probably teeing off from about here. I think I mentioned in the last review, it never picks this up well from Game Golf. Hit a 7, but came up a little bit short. Hit a really nice pitch shot, which was maybe 5 feet or something like that had come up just short, and then lit that out. So it ended up being a bogey and back to level par. But on another day that sails in. Not to be, but yeah, still level par through three. Then on to number four, long par five. Hit a good drive, as it says there, 250 meters ish, so 285 ish yards, something like that. And then my approach shot just came up a little bit short. But had a chip on and then a couple of putts and made another par there, so it was still level par at this point. Onto the fifth, hit a pretty good two iron on this one, but my foot actually slipped. It was a little bit dewy, a little bit wet this morning. So I don't know whether that completely contributed to it, but I found myself in the trees on the left here. But I had a shot, it was a tough one, but I had a line into the flag, so hit a pitching wedge, I think. Well, yeah, it was pitching wedge, and yeah, put that onto the middle of the green. So was quite pleased with that. Two putts in for a par, and again at this stage still at level. On to the sixth, so typically one of the harder holes on the course. Again, pulled a two iron this time. There's no two ways about it. It was a pull, but I got really lucky and kind of went through a window in these trees here and left myself on the other side. I was slightly blocked out for this approach shot by this tree. And all I could really do was try and leave it in the middle of the fairway for a chip. That nearly ran into the bunker, but it just came up short. And then I hit a really nice lob wedge just over the top, just to have a tap in for par. So again, 6 holes down, I was still level par. On to the seventh, I was feeling good at this point. Hit a good drive, two iron, straight in the middle of the fairway. This hole is often a nemesis of mine because the putting green itself is really, really tough. But this was just a really poor shot. A 9 iron. I wasn't far away from the green. It was a little bit of wind, but I just pulled it and left myself up on this bank up here. Hit a nice pitch to get myself onto the green, but couldn't hold the putt. So dropped a shot there. So I was one over at that point. On to the eighth. Pin was right at the front of this green, and this is probably about 30 to 35 metres front to back this green, so it can have a real effect on it. Hit an 8 iron, and all the way looked like it was going in, and came up about 5 feet, 6 feet short, something like that. So it looked a lot closer from the tee. Looked like it was in. So 6-footer. I thought a pretty straight part. It moved a little bit and just missed to the right. So disappointing not to get back to level par with that one. But it was a par, and I was still one over at this stage. And so then on to 9. 9 comes up through here. Teaser again, we're pretty far forward. We're actually able to take these bunkers out of play almost. So hit a good drive. 4-iron that hit in second, I didn't really get a good contact on it, but managed to just come up short of what is a bunker there, and then hit a really nice pitching wedge into the green, which was on line all the way again. Couple of putts. It was a fairly long attempt, the first putt, so yeah, happy with the 2 putts from there. And that at the turn there, so there was through the first 9 holes, I was 1 over and feeling really, really good about how things were going. And then, shall we say, the wheels came off a little bit. So on to 10. Wind had picked up by this stage a little bit. It was really calm for the first 9 holes, and this picked up, and for all of these holes, it's really coming across from the right of screen to the left of screen. So I've been hitting a nice fade on the draw on any of the drives, but this one just started too straight, and then that wind hit it and knocked it up here. So it was a pretty, it was a pretty decent drive, but it really just got knocked by the wind quite a bit. And I was left up against a real big patch of thick rough, and the best I could do was just hack it out into the middle. Hit a nice then pitch shot, but unfortunately couldn't hold the putt. So I was at that point then 2 over. On to 11th, normally the hardest hole on the course, and yeah, still no easier when the tees are slightly forward. To be honest, they were pretty much in the same spot today. Again, hit a good tee shot, gentle fade. Learnt from the last one, and aimed a little bit further left because of that wind. It was ever so slightly off the fairway. It's actually just on the fringe of this temporary green that's down there. Still had a fair distance in, so 160, so 180-ish meters, yards, sorry, something like that in. Hit the right distance, but pulled slightly left. Pin was actually tucked quite close on the left-hand side as well, so I think it was always likely with me just kind of moving the ball left to right. I was always kind of likely to end up left of this green. So, but hit a nice lob wedge onto there, and but yeah, unfortunately couldn't make the putt. So 2 putts there, was another bogey. So at this stage now 3 over at this point. On to 12. Hit an okay drive, should we say, on this one. It just finished off the fairway, but it was actually quite fortunate because it rolled all the way up the bank on the right hand side here, and then kind of came back down it. So it was a pretty long drive, but it really wasn't that great a shot. And then probably at this stage hit the worst shot I'd hit throughout the whole round, which was certainly out of the heel of the club, if not a little bit of shank, and only advanced it that far. But recovered fairly well. Got a nice pitch up onto the green. Had a longish putt, but it was up there. Got that close and then sunk the tap in basically. So there was another drop shot. So to 4 over at this stage. On to 13. With the tees forward, I felt like I could have a go at this today, but the wind was, kind of moving across, but it felt a bit more into at this point. So decided not to have a go. It hit 4-iron and came down just in front of this. It was just in the rough, and then hit what I thought was a pretty good 8-iron, but it stalled in that wind and just ended up off to the left. Hit a nice lob wedge over the top, and this time made the putt to hold that par. So it was still 4 over at this point. So 4 over through 13, and really feeling good. Things were going well. I was striking the ball really well. Felt in control, kind of didn't really feel that much could go wrong. But hole 14, really not much in this at all. In terms of what's involved in this hole, it's a pretty straight away par 3, sorry, and sometimes it's a bit tough to see exactly where the pin is, but really and truly I should have done better here. So I hit a 7-iron, but barely got decent contact on it. Was lucky not to go into bunkers, but then hit a good rescue shot, or shot to get myself up onto the green. I had about 20 feet, something like that, but I massively overhit the putt. And then missed the return. So I had a 3-putt and a double bogey for that hole. So after playing so well up until that point, my putting really let me down at that point, and then kind of started a little bit of a decline mentally, which something I'll have to work on in the coming weeks. But yeah, I'll go through the rest of that now. So I was back to 6 over now. Driver on this one, wind was blowing across and knocking it this way, but this was just a horrid drive. I'd been hitting fades all day long, and this one just went hard left. Sorry. So yeah, not a good shot, but had an opportunity to advance it and hit a really good 4-iron, to be honest, out of an indifferent lie, shall we say, and advanced it to here. Then I hit a shank with a 6-iron that ended up over on this fairway. Then we had, I'd blocked myself out from behind a tree there, so all I could do was hit a 7-iron kind of low. That shot through the green, duffed a chip, then rolled one close with a putter, and then knocked that in, so it was a 7. So another double, and back to 8 over now. And desperately trying to rediscover some of the good feelings that I'd had earlier in the round. So on to 16, always a tight one. Hit a 2-iron, and as you'll see there, 229 metres. It looks amazing, but if I zoom in ever so slightly, this actually went very low, bounced off this cart path twice, maybe once, I don't know. I only saw the first bounce, and then ended up down there. So really quite fortunate. But rode my luck, and yeah, got up to the green with a 6-iron. Wind, I think, affected this a little bit, but to be fair, I was probably aligned too tight to the left-hand side of the green in the first place. Hit a nice lob wedge over the top, but couldn't make the putt, unfortunately. So that was another drop shot. So I was at 9 over at this point. And then on to 17. So 17 there. Par 3, but tees were way forward. Hit a good 7-iron. It was actually more like here that was hit into. And rolled the putt close, but couldn't make it. But yeah, nice 3. So still at 9 over at that point. And feeling good and thinking 9 over. So I'm on for a 79 if I can make par here. And with the tees forward, I really should have done a bit better down 18. So I'll zoom in on this one just to give a little bit more of a view. So driver, hit a good drive. It was just on the right hand rough, but it was sitting in a nice lie. There was nothing wrong with it. It was probably too far away to have a go, but although the pin was on the left, I was thinking par. So took 6-iron. Chanked for the 3rd time in the round over into the trees here, and then left myself blocked out. Basically, just tried to punch out through the trees with a 7-iron and caught a tree, and it landed here. So I'm now playing 1, 2, 3, 4 from there, and but yeah, hit my 4th shot up onto the green. So playing 5 on there, thinking if I can hold that. It was a long putt, but just wanted to get it close. Hit a relatively good putt. It rolled maybe 6 or 7 feet past, but I mean this is a bit of a curly green. But thinking 6, that's okay. 80. Sorry, got maths wrong somewhere there. I was thinking 6, I'll be okay. And unfortunately missed that putt as well. So ended up being a double on that as well. So ended up at 11 over, and I'll just quickly get the rest of the stats up there. So 11 over, yeah, an 83, 50% of fairways, so 9 fairways. Hit 5 greens in regulation today, so yeah, need to do a little bit better from that perspective. Putts, I had 32 total putts, but there were a couple of 3 putts in there as well. So something to work on there, and scrambling would have been yeah, or could have been a little bit better as well. Although I did have some good up and down. So all in all, very good. Look, in terms of the competition itself, I thought I'd do pretty well. My daily handicap was 20. But unfortunately, so yeah, that meaning that yeah, out in 37, back in 46, total of 83. 63 I felt was going to be good enough to win. Unfortunately, it was not. 58 beat by 5 shots. So all the while, pretty good. I can't complain about that at all. You know, it was good. It was controlled for the most part. There was an element there where I wobbled, and I need to eliminate that from my game when things aren't going my way. But yeah, really and truly, pretty good. I was pleased with how that went. And yeah, very positive for the future. So handicap wise, I don't know if this is going to have updated yet, but I will check. But no, that's still sitting at 18.4 at the moment. But as soon as that does update, I'll let you guys know. So as always, thanks for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Share it around the social medias, and yeah, please comment below on what you're thinking. And yeah, I really hope that you're enjoying it, and we'll speak again soon. Thank you.